There you go. We are now recording, and I will cut the video short for us today. Announcements first. All day Wednesday this month. That's this week, Wednesday. Next month, we'll do an all day, but PM for the US/Canadian citizens. We'll start at 1 p.m. GMT. We're ending early this Wednesday for my travel to the funeral in the UK, and there'll be no sessions on Thursday due to the funeral. Now, diving right in, training or practice, perhaps. And apologies for the error with recording. We've got this one on the go now. MacDonalds slash Ryanair, an analogy and an in-depth look at a valid comparison. I listened to a TV show recently where a football player, coincidentally from Liverpool, named John Barnes, said, "Don't play the occasion, play the game." Listen to that, remember it, and stay with me here as I'm going to get to a really good point in this session. Apologies for having to restart. Anyway, in my hotel experience of long ago, we were interviewing candidates. It's a good job I take notes, isn't it? Or make notes for these things. We were interviewing candidates for positions, and someone came before us from McDonald's. My colleague immediately spouted, "A Big Mac and a Coke, please." The candidate replied, "That's McDonald's cola, sir, and would you like fries with that?" Just hold that thought. We do have a point. On a recent Ryanair flight, a young attendant was pointing out some features of the cup and do's and don'ts. I just wanted the coffee, and I wondered why he felt the need to give me instruction. Perhaps it was the late hour. Perhaps he thought I didn't know about coffee. I pondered for a moment before I stated clearly, "This isn't my first coffee." He left. Perhaps he was just flirting, but then he could have given me the coffee or paid for it to make it clearer. "Hi Harvey, I had to restart because of the recording, so you haven't missed much." Now here is the point. Training. That's the point. Those staff members have been trained, even brainwashed, into repeating those steps in their daily process, time after time, day after day. "Hey, a Big Mac and Coke, please. Would you like fries with that? Would you like to go large for an extra, well, I don't know, whatever it is, you know, what they do in there." And yeah, the features of a Ryanair coffee cup. Who knew? Who knew? I don't care. Just give me the coffee. Again, was in a service station and there was a Costa guy, and I approached. I simply said, "Black coffee, please, Americano, if you like," because obviously people have the need to call it this strange name nowadays instead of just black coffee. "No, hello, hiya, nothing," the man said to me. "I don't know you. Just give me the coffee." Right? Okay, but he's trained to say, "Hello, sir. How are you? Would you like a?" Or I don't know. Training anyway. Those staff members have been trained, even brainwashed. I won't apologise for repeating it, into repeating those steps. So perhaps then the link between, follow this, the reasons why some traders get it and some struggle is as simple as the training and practice stages. Now, in fairness, it can't be the training. Why not? Well, everyone in my group has had pretty much exactly the same training. Some have had it drummed in on a refresher. Or maybe it's the practice, the homework, the understanding. We also drummed in the importance of those things too. Now, here is the decider, the killer information, if you like. Just because we were told, shown, taught, and allowed or guided to try, doesn't mean we will all go to the high performance levels of the double baggers. And I mean, those certain individuals that can and will excel. "Yes, sir, can I put that in a second bag for you in case the handles snap? This is what you would need, sir, for that," simply because they can. But then it isn't, sorry, Jules, I'm going to mute you there because you got a big squeak in me thingy there. I'm going to go mute all. There you go. Sorry, Jules. Now, where was I? Drummed in on a refresher. Yeah, just because we were told, shown, did that. Double baggers. Now, it isn't just because they, or we indeed, can, is it? Those people who excel, they don't do it just because they can. They do it because they've been trained to do it. Yes, sir. Would you like? It's a big. What is it? It's a McDonald's cola, sir. Would you like fries with that? Would you like to go large? It's their training to go through. To go through what, lads? The steps in the process. Yes. Now, we make the individual difference. We individuals make the individual difference for ourselves, or we don't. But then we are making a choice, a clear and present choice. And it is, or it should be, a reflection upon ourselves here. Now, don't take that as an insult or even as a challenge. Simply an observation intended to guide us into making better choices, performing on a higher level. Indeed, we all know that we can in other areas of our lives, don't we? Who's very good at something here in this group that nobody else in the group even does? Well, there you go. I know I'm looking at a few names just at the top of the list there. I think Alex, yeah, I know you're very good at it. Bob, excellent photographer. I've seen his pictures of Bluebird on the lake. Who else? Was it you that did that one? Or was that getting you mixed up, aren't I, with Louise? You did it too, though, I think. You know, everyone in here has an expertise. How did you get the expertise? Well, you practiced and you practiced and you retrained yourself, or you got someone to retrain yourself, or you went back to your coach and you said, just a minute, I'm struggling with this area. And you went through that area again and again and again until you decide that you've got that area mastered. Okay? Performing on a higher level. We can all do it. That's the reality. So there you go. Trading might be a newly acquired skill. It might yet to be acquired. It is nevertheless a learned skill, and with practice, enough practice, it is something that simply anyone can learn to be not only good at, but great at. We do have to add patience and discipline for ourselves. But here's the thing, you know, the guys who are in McDonald's, and I'm using McDonald's because that's an excellence in service kind of place. You think not? You get the same standard every single McDonald's everywhere the world over. And I have a great respect for anyone in service because I've worked in hotels. I've had the waitresses come in to me in tears, and the waiters and the young men and young ladies, oh, the chef roared at me for this reason, oh, this one yelled at me, and a customer, and I've spilt the drink on him, and oh, it's all gone pear-shaped, and what am I to do? It happens. That's hotels. But in a burger joint, McDonald's for instance, it's the same thing. You know, they stand there. Good day, sir. How can I help you? I'd like a Big Mac and Coke, please. That's a McDonald's cola, sir, and would you like fries with that? And they're busy tapping on the buttons because it's already sending the orders to the kitchen. It's all computer driven. How is that the same? Well, what we got to say is, has this done that? And has that done this? And does that concur? That's it. Has this done that? Has that done this? Does that concur? You know, or does 3 concur? These are your McDonald's and Ryanair questions. So as John Barnes said, don't play the occasion, play the game. I'm going to say, don't focus on the instrument, focus on the process. It's a simple, really simple 3-step process. Whatever of my strategies you're looking at, be it this Dynamic Hedge, Dynamic Trader 2, DT2 if you like, Disciple, the newest one, Pod, Origins, it doesn't matter what the strategy is. I usually build them around a 3-step process. Check, check, push. Ready, aim, fire. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Or you can do it 1, 2, 3. You can do the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 has got to be done in any event. So next time we hear someone say, I can't do it, I'm battling, I don't know, I'm struggling, we need to try to kindly tell them, you can. You can, anybody can, but you might have to adapt and try a few more times. You might have to adjust your attitude and practice more. When you hear, it's too hard, it's too complex, you can't see it, you can't do it, it can't be done, from friends and family. Well, if you believe that, you will end up in a real job. Objections noted then, but only when you accept full responsibility for your life choices, you will gain the power to change anything and everything in your life. I watched a TV show the other day, Professor T. I'm really enjoying it. First of all, I like his suits. Secondly, I like that he has a high IQ, and I like the way he addresses issues and things. It's a good, no nonsense way of addressing things. And he was there addressing a auditorium of students, and he began with, and you like this because I wrote it in one of my books, opinion. He wrote about opinions. I told you what we should do with one if ever we found ourselves suffering from the condition. His words were better still. He said, opinions are what... Oh, no, please don't tell me you've forgotten. Yeah, I've forgotten. Opinions are terribly destructive anyway, was the bottom line. I'll have to watch the episode again. I believe it might have been episode 4, series 2 of Professor T. And it was all along the lines of evidence without criminal intent is just evidence, and it can be ambiguous. Criminal intent without evidence is again nonsense, and each is necessary in equal proportion. So for us it would be price action with technical analysis, and there is no room for an opinion. There is no reason for an opinion. Our opinions are our enemy. And we should always remember that. We have rules, we have reasons, we have a step, a 1, 2, 3 step process. And outside of that, we've no business sitting down to look at a chart, because if we do and we have an opinion, then we might as well forget about it and sit down and get a real job and update our CV and do all those sort of normal type things. I've often said to you guys, beware of anyone, avoid anyone who usually begins sentences with the word usually or normally, because we're not really doing anything normal or usual, aren't we? There is what is the word? A required standard, an accepted standard of practice in pretty much everything. It is the same for us in trading. Sadly, I can't answer that about the trades here, Harvey. This is an educational, so you're going to have to look at that yourself. It'd be an RTF according to the 3 minute. It'd be valid as a pivot on the 1 anyway. So I did answer it, didn't I? But only you know what you asked. There's the point then, lads. Training, brainwashing, if you like. Staff members have been trained or brainwashed into repeating the steps. What steps? Has this done that? Has that done this? Does 3 concur? Say it with me in your own mind. Has this done that? Has that done this? Does 3 concur? So say it with me. The gentleman who just asked me, was that a sell signal 6 candles back? Has this done that? Has that done this? Does that concur? Well, does it? Are we below the mid? Is he below the line? He's not below the line, so he's halfway there. But they all agree. Has this done that? Has that done this? Yeah. What's your problem then? You don't even need to ask me, do you? You really don't. Say it with me. Has this done that? Has that done this? Does 3 concur? Have you done that? Cross. Have you done that? Hopper. Do you concur? You're below the mid BB. You do. You do. So if you were in, you'd be in somewhere up here or here, and you'd be down here with profit of maybe 30 pips. Max 20, 15. There's no loss. There is no loss in that trade. That's aimed at the young gentleman who asked me, is or was that a sell that many candles back? I'm not sure when you typed the question, so I don't know if I'm looking at these 6 or those. You know what I mean? Anyway. Questions, thoughts, comments, and center it around your training or practice. And I would also like to add at this stage, many members in the group smash it out the park. They hit unbelievable pip counts and percentage gains, and they grow and they grow and they develop and they do well. Some do it and then they give it all back, and then they do it again and they give it all back again. And then they do it again, and sometimes they just keep it. Others are still struggling, and yet you all went through the same training. You all got the same homework. Yeah, we do talk about homework. I talk about practice and homework. the understanding. We talk about it in your course with me. It's the same for everybody. So, if you and I, any one of you and I went for a job in McDonald's and I listened and I was at the counter and I said, "Yes, sir, it's McDonald's, Colin, and would you like fries with that?" I said, "Yeah, I'd like some fries actually. Would you want to go large?" I'd keep my job, and if you didn't say that, you'd get fired. Based on my level of discipline and my level of patience and consistency, I would suggest, yeah, I could flip burgers in Donald's. Not keen to. No, I don't really eat there even. I'll take coffee there if Stacey's getting a Happy Meal, but otherwise it wouldn't be my favourite place. However, the level of training has been apparent and locked in my mind since the early 90s, which is when I worked in hotels and gained that experience. How long ago is that now? 90s, 30 years. 30 years! Oh my lord, 30 years ago. And I can still remember the guy sat next to me who said, what was it he said? Yeah, Big Mac and fries, please. Oh, sorry, Big Mac and Coke, please, he said. It was a gentleman named Chris Brammer. He was the general manager, I was the financial manager, and we were interviewing for waiting staff. That's the reality. So, lads, what's the difference? Training and or practice. If you've never hit your demo account and hit it hard and doubled it, or gone through gates on a demo account, or just got the right 70-30 plus, 70 plus to 30 less win rate and a 1.2 times hold percentage, and I think so far 3 people in the world have ever sent me those results. I mean, in the world, 3 have sent me those results to prove that they did that level of practice and homework. Everyone else, yeah, you sent it to me, and I made all these comments, and look at my comment, great, made up for you, but you went and big fat did it anyway, because the comments are often very negative. Well, I felt, and you still went and did it anyway. If you wrote the comments and there were no trades next to it, you'd get a gold star for that. Brilliant. You knew you weren't up to it, so you didn't do it. Excellent. Now, do you think if a surgeon went to work feeling rough and I was not in the mood for this today, maybe the table's upside down and some poor git loses his testicles instead of his tonsils, how well do you think that'd go down? Probably not so, huh? I dare say he'd get a disciplinary. He might even get shouted at, albeit in a high-pitched voice rather than the manly voice he might have expected before the operation. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know anybody who's lost them. Actually, a dog still barks, don't it? And there's no difference there. So it's an analogy. It's just an analogy. Training prevents mistakes. I hope you all said it with me. Has this done that? Well, did it? Has that done this? Well, did it? And does 3 concur? Lads, whether we're looking at this setup or whether we're looking at our disciple, or whether we're looking at pod or MLS or trigger 2, whatever of my strategies you're looking at, let's see a list of them just for a moment, will we? There's 2 or 3 that are at the top and are the most sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, favoured. I'd give you pod, MLS, trigger 2, and I'd give you disciple. I would absolutely give you disciple. And all you've got to look at on disciple to say, well, does that concur? It's the very bottom of the screen. Does that concur? Well, it probably did in the first place, or you shouldn't even be considering it. How does that sound to some of you? I dare say to some of you it doesn't sit well. A lot of people don't like being told that you haven't done very well in your training or your practice. So here's the reality. I don't know how you've done exactly. Some of you I do. I know there's a gentleman on there who posted not so long ago, 28% in a couple of days. I'll take them apples. Well bloody done. Smashing, just great. There are others who've done really, really well, and they don't mind sharing those results. There are some of you who are improving and growing and consistently growing. I'll take that. I'm very happy with that. But for those of you who aren't or haven't, it remains your job to get yourself up to scratch with the training and the practice. The education was there, the recommendations to run through the process of completing the homework, particularly lessons 5 and 6. Lesson 2 would have taken you to the 1.2 with the 75 30 25 win rate, or 70 30 as an absolute minimum. And then you'd be where you are, where you should be, on the hero path rather than the zero path. And that's where I want you. If you're not on the hero path, as I said, and the gentleman will remember, some time ago we had a session and someone had posted in the group, oh, I took this and I don't know why I lost. And then I took that and I don't know why I won. And I said to the gentleman, you just have no respect of what I've taught you. You've no respect of what we're doing here. It's very unfair, that is. And the gentleman has changed a lot. He's turned a huge corner. And I'm very, very pleased and very, very proud of that. This is a purely training session, so apologies for not answering your direct message on the validity of the entry. But realistically, you know the validity of the question. Has this done that? Has that done this? Does 3 concur? How does that sound? Anyone give me some feedback? Anything, anything. Unmute and say something. Tell me that you're out there.
We're out there, James.
Thanks, Dave. And what do you think? Does that help? The training and the
It,
practice?
yeah, I think the practice aspect. I think once someone goes live with the account, the practice stops because you're living the practice in your live account, right? So
Yeah,
returning to practice is a good thing. I think I'm going to re-watch your boot camp and get
nice
back to
one.
practice a little bit.
Okay, and 2 more comments there. One from Damo. He says, sounds good, mate. Thanks, Damo. Appreciate it. And Mark, the sell is valid, and I took 20 pips using my phone and James's screen. Well, that'll do me, mate. There's no questions or grey hairs about your training. And if that's the Mark from, you're the Mark that's had quite a rough journey, I think, who mostly trades Dow. If you've took 20 pips off that, your journey was incredible to watch, and you're one of them people who battled, got it, battled, got it, battled, got it, got it and kept it. And that's what I like. That's what I love about you there. Well done, you, Mark. Well done. There you go. I review setups over weekends, so practice should be a constant. Absolutely, Rosa. Well done. And Damo, struggling but keep pushing forward. Well, these educationals are exactly the right place to be asking the questions and to getting yourselves set up with whatever it is you need. If it's something personal, we can end the recording and do it between us, just our group, and then only the recording goes on YouTube later. There you go, Michael. It's absolutely vital to practice. When it's not happening, go demo and practice. Excellent. Cheers, Thomas. You're welcome. And thanks, Michelle. Yeah, that level of training, just compare what you've put yourself through in terms of training and practice to what it must be that a McDonald's or a Ryanair or Aer Lingus or British Airways, what those staff must go through so that they don't spill coffee all over you or give you your Big Mac without cheese or whatever it is. You make sure you get what you ask for. Well, that's what the charts will give you. They will give you what you ask for, and all you got to ask is, has this done that? Has this done that? Has that done this? Has that done this? Does 3 concur? Yes, yes, yes. Pips. That's it. Thank you, everybody. We are ending the recording 23 minutes in, the sensible one, the one that didn't fail. And apologies, at least I've sorted out now my, what's he called? My ice cream screen recorder. I've been doing the reps on back testing, do me X number of entry conditions long up. All right, nice one, Thomas. Well done. The more the better. Practice makes perfect. I got you. Entry conditions line up. Okay, thank you. Go on, lads. I'll get this uploaded onto YouTube straight away for you all. Please trade safe, and remember the announcements again. I'll run them one last time. All day Wednesday, that's this week. We're starting at 9 a.m. GMT. We'll probably have to finish early because I'm flying out to a funeral. I'll be gone Thursday then, so no sessions on Thursday. I'm at a family funeral and I'm sorry for that. Next month, Wednesday, the last Wednesday of November, we're going to do an all-dayer, but it's going to start at 1 p.m. to accommodate more of our US and Canadian guys. Thank you very much, everybody. Please trade safe. I'll see you on the next live session in the morning. Trade safe. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.